No need to explain where we are. You can see it yourself in Jerusalem. You can see the Al-Aqsa compound, you can see the Dome of the Rock, that's the old city of Jerusalem. And we are standing on the rooftop of the Austrian Hospice. And this is precisely why so many people are coming to us to enjoy this beautiful view on the old city of Jerusalem. Some more people are coming to us because there's a cafe house, the Café Triest, located on our premises. This is something quite well known. People love to have Austrian coffee and Apfelstrudel and Sachertorte. For us, it's very important. Café Triest reminds us of our own history. Triest was once upon part of the Austrian Empire. And there was actually the harbor, the port, where all these people started their journey to the Holy Land. So there's a close connection even today between Trieste and Jerusalem. And this is what we want to remind our guests. Coffee houses, cafe houses, as we call them in German, play a very important role in our culture and also in history. One cannot imagine today how important it was for people living in the 19th century, in the 20th century, to have their cafe house, their favorite cafe house, where they were not just having coffee, but where they were actually also meeting other people, where they were sitting down for several hours, writing their books, their memories, whatever article might be upon them. So it's a very important issue to have this place here. Thank you.
The cafe was still the best place to keep up with everything new. In order to understand this, it must be said that the Viennese cafe is a particular institution which is not comparable to any other in the world. As a matter of fact, it is a sort of democratic club to which admission costs the small price of a cup of coffee. Upon payment at this mite, every guest can sit for hours on end, discuss, write, play cards, receive his mail, and above all, can go through an unlimited number of newspapers and magazines. In a better-class Viennese cafes, all the Viennese newspapers were available, and not the Viennese alone, but also those of the entire German Reich, the French, English, Italian, and the American papers. And in addition, all the important literary and art magazines of the world. We knew everything that took place in the world at first hand. We learned about every book that was published and every production, no matter where it occurred. And we compared the notices in every newspaper. Perhaps nothing has contributed as much to the intellectual mobility as the international orientation of the Austrian, as that he could keep abreast of all world events in the cafe, and at the same time discuss them in the circle of his friends. For, thanks to the collectivity of our interests, we follow the orbis pictus of artistic events, not with 2, but with 20 and 40 eyes. What one of us had overlooked was noticed by another. And since in our constant childish, boastful, and almost sporting ambition, we wish to outdo any other in our knowledge of the very latest thing, we found ourselves actually in a sort of constant rivalry for the sensational. If, for example, we discussed Nietzsche, who then was still scorned, one of us would suddenly say with feigned superiority, "But the matter of egotism, Kierkegaard is superior to him." At once we became uneasy. Who is this Kierkegaard whom X knows and whom we knew nothing about? Then the next day we stormed into the library to look up the books of the time-obscure Danish philosopher, for it was a mark of inferiority not to know some exotic thing that was familiar to someone else. We had a passion to be the first to discover the latest, the newest, the most extravagant, the unusual, which had not yet been dwelt upon in length, particularly by the official literary critics of our daily papers. I personally was a slave to this mania for many years. During my first 20 years, I saw practically nothing of the wonderful surroundings of Vienna. The loveliest and warmest summer days had a particular appeal to us because on such days, the city was empty. We got more papers and magazines in the cafes and got them more quickly. It took me years and decades to find the balance for this childishly eager overexcitement and to overcome my unavoidable bodily clumsiness. But all in all, I've never regretted that fanaticism of my gymnasium period, that living through one's eyes and no one's nerves. It infused into my blood a passion for the intellectual, which I should never care to lose. And all I've since read and learned stands on the firm foundation of those years. What one's muscles have missed can be made up later. The elan towards the intellectual, the soul's inner grasping power, is set in motion in those decisive formative years, and only he who has learned early to spread his soul out wide may later hold the entire world within himself.
My name is Iman. I studied English literature at Al-Quds University, music as well. I'm so very happy to be a participant in this writing project. I'm really interested in anything related to my country, my city, in specific Jerusalem. I would like to be part of the visions of the world of tomorrow. And I think we all should work together, think together to enrich the human experience in general.